Welcome back to the True Blue Everton podcast with myself, Alan Myers, and Tony Grant. And this section is called the debrief. So after every home game or away game for Everton, pretty much every game, we'll be doing a debrief and looking back at that game and sort of seeing where it went wrong, where it went right. And with a 1-1 draw, I suppose we're in the middle there, Tony, aren't we? I mean, after you've warmed up from last night, what did you make of it?
Well, going to the game, I always thought it would be a tough game, Al. I remember the first game. I think it was the first game of the season at their place.
It was.
And we got the runaround, didn't we? Especially in the first 45 minutes, we got the runaround. Yeah. They've been in good form. We're on the back of a good victory at Aston Villa. I weren't sure who was going to be playing. I knew Jack Grealish would be out. I weren't sure whether Ndiaye was going to start. So going the game, I knew it was going to be a tough game, and it was a cold night. And then the first half, it was very, very tough, wasn't
it? Here's my theory, right? So I remember going back to the Brentford game when David Moyes brought back Michael Keane, which in itself, not a problem. Michael Keane had been probably one of our best performers, if not our best performer, for some time. So that decision was not, I don't think you could doubt that decision. But I think what's happened is we seem to struggle when we change the side up. People trying to adjust again to play with those particular players. And last night, of course, we had 3 and 4, didn't we? Different people coming in. If you look at the 2 AFCON guys, and then there were different changes in the formation. And then, of course, later on we had Kieran Dewsbury-Hall come in. We had Jared Branthwaite come in. So for me, and you'll know better than me on this, is it distracting? Is it a problem trying to get back to playing with, which might explain the first half performance?
Well, to be honest with you, we just didn't get to grips with their formation, to be fair. Now, If you go back to the first game of the season now, we got the runaround at Leeds. They played some fantastic football.
Yeah.
And in the first half last night, we couldn't get close to them. They seemed to get out from the back easy. They got through the midfield easy. At times we looked really tired and lethargic. I felt really sorry for the right back position because with the ball, everything was lopsided. So every time he got the ball, there was no blue shirt near him. That's with the ball. But the big problems came without the ball, and they seemed to get through us and get to our 18-yard box at will very, very easy. So the first half, we were lucky to go in 1-0 down. Dominic's hit the post.
Yeah.
And we haven't laid a finger on them. But second half is a totally, totally different conversation.
And what makes that difference? Was it Kieran Dewsbury-Hall? Do you think?
I think personnel possibly, but I think mainly it was the shape. I think Tactics. We changed our shape up. We sort of matched them. You go back to the first game of the season, they tire a lot, Leeds. They do tire a lot. And I think as the second half started and carried on, we were on the front foot. The fans were behind the team. The players could feel that. And it was almost... We didn't create many great chances, but we were sort of... There was going to be a good chance going to happen when we were getting beat 1-0 because we had so much of the ball. Young Garner started getting on the ball. Young James Garner started getting on the ball. And we were getting at their 18-yard box at will. And, put yourself in a Leeds position. They've just got to keep that goal protected. And to be fair, what's it took? It took an old-fashioned ball down the line, a wing, someone to run onto it and smash a ball across the 6-yard box. It's nothing magical
not
about
rocket
it.
Science.
It's not rocket science, but that's what that needed. And to be fair to the striker, who I didn't think he offered that much last night, but he scored another cracking goal. And, that's 2 cracking goals in the last week.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of, the people I was sitting around. First of all, the ease that Leeds scored the goal was just too easy, wasn't it? You can't allow that to happen. I didn't think I saw Dwight O'Neill.
Dwight McNeil.
McNeil, sorry, Dwight McNeil, trying to keep up with the guy who scored the goal in the end,
Yeah,
Justin James, and he didn't, and
yeah,
he had this free run into the box, and it was that sort of you talked about lethargic, it was that sort of mentality I think that got us behind in the first half.
yeah,
Do you think it was right to bring back the two AFCON lads straight into the team? I mean, I'm not really talking about Ndai because Ndai was good. He was
yeah,
probably the shining light, wasn't he, for a lot of that game?
yeah.
But in particular, Garner Gay looked in that first half, and he did improve second half, but he looked tired and he looked like he wasn't with the
Yeah,
pace.
and it's funny, Al, isn't it? Because we all love Enzai, don't we?
Mm,
He is a special player. I mean, some of the things he's done in the first half were
yeah,
magical, weren't they?
yeah.
Some of the stuff he done. And I'm the same with Garner. I didn't think we possibly needed him. Whereas I think we needed Enzai. I don't think we needed
100%.
Garner. But
Yeah.
at the same time, Garner set the goal up.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
think second
so
half he improved.
yeah,
Maybe he needed Dewsbury Hall to come in and allow
possibly.
him a little bit more
But you know
space.
what, Al? They were so lethargic, and so we were so on our back foot for the first 45 minutes. I'm sure the management have got amongst the players a little bit, changed that formation, got us higher up the pitch, moved the ball a little bit faster, and all of a sudden you've got Leeds on the back foot,
Mm,
and you get the fans could sense a goal was coming. And
yeah,
then let's have it right, we hit the crossbar like moments later. You're
yeah,
saying that 1-0 down to a 2-1 going up. So it's a great game, football. That's why we all love it, isn't it? You
yeah.
never know what's going to happen.
There's been a lot made of the booing at half time. I mean, I felt, and I don't know what you feel, that it was more out of frustration because, after Aston Villa, and it's happened a couple of times this season, after such a great performance, and then it was the same with the Brentford game, after the Forest win, and it was more about that than being annoyed with the team as such and getting on their backs. I think it was more a frustration because everyone thought we were going to kick on and we saw that seventh position maybe, being available.
Yeah, I hear that. But we never laid a finger on them out, the
Mm.
first half. And it's a cold night, isn't it? There's
Yeah,
50,000. The 50,000 have
yeah.
got the game. I've played in many times where I've been booed off.
Mm.
Fans are entitled to,
Of course they are,
um,
yeah. Mm.
put it out there. There was a moment in the first half where we thought one of our players didn't go in for a tackle. Now at
Yeah,
Goodison at playing for Everton, some
yeah,
things are just not accepted.
yeah.
Um, whether that was right or whether he did or he didn't, I can't remember seeing it. But I know something happened. Getting booed off, the fans demand something. You see, there's a
Mm.
demand at Everton.
Mm.
You're not playing for a Brighton or a Brentford. You're not playing for them now. There's an actual demand, and
Mm.
giving you absolute everything and getting tight to people and getting in people's faces is just the bare minimum. You know,
Do you think the stadium, because obviously the home form is a little bit sort of, I listened to David Moyes afterwards and he said, if you're an Evertonian, you want to be an away Evertonian at the moment, and I mean, do you think there's something about the stadium that we've not quite got to grips with yet, that from the players' point of view?
possibly, but
Because
over the
it's a big
years,
crowd, isn't it? They're playing in front
yeah,
of a big crowd, yeah.
yeah, and it's different. But over the years, I've seen different teams have one year a really good home form and a poor
Mm.
away form,
Yeah,
and the year after have a really good away
yeah.
form and a poor.
Switches,
I've
yeah.
seen
Yeah.
it. It seems to, I don't know what the reason is.
We saw it
I
with
suppose.
Ancelotti. Do you remember Ancelotti's
There you
season?
go. Yeah.
We weren't good, yeah. Mm.
So, I think to be a top team, you find that consistency and you
Yeah.
find a way to do it at both. Everton have been in a transition from the Dice days. We have transitioned into this team we see now. We do pass the ball better. We are moving the ball better. There's still a long way to go for Everton. And obviously, you throw in a new stadium. It is going to be a bit different. But is it? I don't think it's the stadium's fault. Yeah, maybe ask me
Mm.
in 2 years' time. I'll that
Yeah.
question. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? I'll,
Yeah.
I'll have a better answer for you then.
If we're still here, God forbid. So,
Yeah. Oh no.
but here's the thing, though. Do you have to almost, as an Everton fan this season in particular, is to just step back a little bit and look to where we were, 12 months ago, and assess where we are now with that in that context. Do you think there's a bit of that?
Well, as an Everton fan, we're out the cups, aren't we?
Yeah.
You know, so it's never nice to be out the cup.
No.
So, you know, what we go in the game for? Well, we're going in the game now to back our team, to actually have a right good go in every game, right? And see where it takes us.
Yeah.
And I think that's why the disappointment was that first half, because
Yeah. Frustration. Yeah.
we just never got into it. You
No.
know, we never laid a glove on them really, Al. And when you're out the cups, it's like, okay, let's get as high as the table as we can. Let's win
Yeah.
games of football.
Yeah.
And it's as simple as that. Let's go and win games. And then what comes on the back of that will be some special goals. Players' confidence are growing. Um, so, you know, I think as time goes on, I think we'll, with the fan base we've got, and, you know, we've got a decent team, Al. You know, at the
Yeah.
same
Yeah.
time, we have got a decent team. Add a couple of players to it, and who knows where you can be.
Okay, well, listen, a couple of things I want to talk about.
Yeah,
One is Jack Grealish
yeah.
and the absence of him. The suggestions are he probably won't play again this season. We don't know whether that's true or not. They've not said definitively, you know, how long he may be out. But if reports are true, and you know he's had a foot injury, you know, how much of a miss do you think was he last night? A, and B, how much of a miss will he be for the rest of the season if he doesn't come back? And
I think the boy's a fantastic footballer, and I think when you lose fantastic footballers, you're going to suffer at some stage. Jack mightn't be the player he was when he first brought on the scene at
yeah,
City or towards a Villa, but
really,
Jack's a fantastic footballer. Um, we miss him holding the ball, bringing players, 3 or 4 players around him, 2 or 3
yeah,
players around him, but finds the right pass. He's been involved in many assists or semi-assists. You know, so you're always going to miss someone like Jack Grealish. I'd imagine he's good in the changing room. Imagine he's good round the players. You know,
yeah.
he brings up so much, and he is a big miss out.
He brings a charisma, doesn't he, to the
Yeah,
club as well, and
yeah,
just that sort of. You look and you see a quality player there. Whether or
yeah,
not he's, you know, as I think, because I think he dropped off in the last few weeks before, and together with the silly booking, the sending off rather, you
yeah,
know, he was a bit out of sorts for a little bit there, and there was the talk is that he was playing with an injury, you know,
yeah,
so that would explain that. But yeah, it'll be a shame, won't it? And I think in some ways as well, we have to think about Jack Grealish as well because you know he's sort of found love again, hasn't he?
yeah,
You know, and now it could be, you know, he could lose that love. So I think he's someone who thrives on that. So I think we have to think about the player as well in this case, you know, and you know, because it does affect them, doesn't it?
yeah. And you know, he's come to it. He's been at big clubs, but he's come
Yeah,
to Everton this year. And
yeah,
when you leave City, he might have thought it was a downgrade going
yeah,
to Everton. Not
yeah,
okay, he's not playing Champions League, but then the love he's found from the terraces, you can see it. You know, especially early on in the season, you can see
yeah,
it.
yeah.
I think he's going to be a big miss till the end of the season. He really is.
And then you know we saw Jared Branthwaite reappear. How big a deal is that going to be? Because you know I think O'Brien has done really well deputising in there. Michael Keane has had a good season, you know, but is Jared Branthwaite really the player that we need in that centre half spot next to Tarkowski?
Well, similar words I'd echo from what I said about Jack.
Mm,
Really top players get top players on the pitch. I think Jared Brandtwaite is a top 4 player. I really do. Even last night, I thought he just oozed confidence. He looked like a Rolls Royce out there at times, even though he
mm,
never had much to do.
yeah.
He just got this commanding appearance about him.
Mm,
Um, I'm expecting so much of him. I don't want to put too much pressure on the kid, but I think he's a fantastic footballer. I really do.
mm. Just
Having him
excuse
back,
me.
having him back in the team is okay. We've lost Jack, we've got one back, so different
Yeah.
position.
Swings and
But yeah,
roundabouts, as they say.
yeah, roundabout, yeah.
Listen, before we leave the game itself, Dewsbury Hall came on, and you know you see his class, don't you? You see his class as a player. Not only I interviewed him afterwards, and you hear it off the pitch as well. And you know it's those sort of players that I think is a change to what we've seen over the last few years, isn't it? You know,
Yeah,
quality players
yeah,
who understand what the club is
yeah,
about, understand what football is about. You know,
yeah,
is that a fair comment?
yeah. He's a good footballer, and we have got more players who can take the ball out. They can carry the ball, they can play with the ball. Young James Garner's another one. They can all handle the ball, and they're all happy having it. And at that new stadium, you're going to need more and more players who are really intelligent footballers who can go and play in all these spaces that are there. So it was lovely to see him back, and he looked to me as though there's nothing wrong with him now. I think he's back in the fray to start a game now.
Yeah, would you? We've got 2 away games next. I think it's Bournemouth and Brighton, or Brighton and Bournemouth, I think it is actually. And so if form is anything to go by, we should have another 6 points come in a couple of weeks' time. But let's hope that's the case. Now, listen, we're going to end today, Toe. We're going to end today. Just wait me 1 second. I need you to do this. We're going to end today with we've done it before. Our blind rankings. Now, what we do here, I give Tony 10 names, and he doesn't know who they are, and he has to rank them in order of he thinks they're the best. It doesn't mean they're the best of all time or anything like that. Just these particular players and where Tony will rank them. So today we're going to do Everton strikers, and we're going to go back to the late 1970s, really. So I know that was slightly just before your time.
Yeah, slightly, yeah.
But
Yeah.
and then I'll be honest with you. After that, they're all people that you would have watched, so you should be all right. So we're starting off with
Well,
a
before
hero
you
of
start,
mine.
Al, I don't know who you're going to say, do I? Right?
You don't? No,
But
you've
I've
no
got.
idea.
But growing up, the 80s was my era watching the team play.
Of course, yeah.
So obviously, I've got a couple of strikers and a few after, but I've got a couple of strikers who I'm hoping you say. So I want to keep some space for the hoping, but whether you say them, I don't know.
But that's the beauty of this game, you see. And not only that, though, some of them aren't in there. Some of the ones that you think might be in there are not in there. So so and that's, as I say, that's not what it's about. It's about just this 10, where you rate these 10. So I'm going to start off with my absolute hero of all time, Bob Latchford. Where does he go, 1 to 10?
Okay, so I never seen Bob play, right? But I grew up in it. My dad was an Evertonian, so just like you obviously watched him, I know Bob was an outstanding striker. And I know he filled his shirt well. I'd have hated to mark him. I mean, he was a big guy, wasn't he? Yeah. Now, I've never seen him play, but I know he was a brilliant striker. Yeah. So I'm going to keep some space, and I'm going to stick him number 3.
Number 3? I'll settle for that. As the leading member of the Bob Latchford fan club, I'll settle for that. Okay, the next one on the list is Romelu Lukaku.
Yeah, bloody hell. Rob again, was unbelievable, wasn't he?
Yeah, not necessarily about how long he played or anything like that. Yeah, just what you thought.
Yeah, starters are quite hard already, haven't we?
Oh yeah, it gets harder. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, right. Because of that reason, I'm going to stick Rob. He was fantastic. I'm going to stick him number 2.
Number 2.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't want to, I don't want to give you any sort of hint or anything, but you're putting yourself under pressure here.
I am.
And I'll tell you what we'll do. And we did it in last time. I'll let you change one at the end. Only one. Okay. So next on the list is a number 9 who you will know, called Graham Sharp.
Yeah, Sharp. He was fantastic footballer, wasn't he? Fantastic.
Don't forget, he's the post-war top scorer.
No, I love Sharp. Listen, Sharpie was one of my favourite players. He was very elegant, wasn't he, Sharpie? He was an elegant footballer.
Yeah, he was. He had everything.
He had everything. Yeah. Right, I'm going to stick Sharpie at number 4.
Number 4, okay. Yeah. Okay, so at the moment we've got Bob Latchford at number 3, Rom at number 2, and Sharpie at number 4. Okay. So the next on the list is Andy Gray.
Yeah, I mean, Andy's a huge part of me growing up, isn't he? I've got 1 or 2 friends who he was their favourite player. You see, one of my favourite players was Sharpie. As far as strikers goes in that team, it was never Andy Gray, even though he was fantastic football striker. So I'm going to stick Andy Gray. I'm going to put Andy Gray at. This could cause a few ruptions. I'm going to put him down at 7.
7, okay. Yeah. That's okay. Next on the list, someone we both knew, and by saying new, you'll know who it is, and is Kevin Campbell.
Yeah, Kevin was fantastic, wasn't he? Fantastic. And we all love Kevin, don't we? Yeah. Well, we all love everyone, but we love Kevin especially.
What were his attributes, do you think? I mean, again, power.
Well, you think about when he came in.
Yeah,
Let's talk about character first.
character.
Let's
Yeah,
talk about personality. Personality, character, um, kinds, all these things that were not even nothing to do with football.
mm.
But he came into the team who was fighting relegation.
Yeah, really struggling.
You can
Yeah,
fire a ball into Kevin, it sticks.
yeah,
A lot of coaches, myself included, when you build your play up, you want it to stick. At times last night, it doesn't stick
yeah.
with Barry at
Doesn't
times,
stick. No, no.
and it gets you down as a midfielder. You want that ball just to stick in there.
Gets you
But
down
Kev
as
could,
a fan as well. Believe
yeah,
me.
of course,
Yeah,
Kev could twist and turn, but
yeah,
he'd get in the box. So when you're
yeah,
putting the ball in the box, he's got a chance to score them.
yeah.
He was fantastic, Kev, wasn't he? But I can't. I'm going to put him just behind Andy Gray.
Okay.
So I'm going to use that as
So
my
number 8.
barometer. Number 8, yeah.
Okay, he's number 8. Okay. Next on the list, Tony Cottee.
Yeah. Fox in the box, Tony Cottee.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to stick Tony behind Kevin Campbell.
Okay. So he's in number 9.
Yeah, and I love Tony Cottee. I think he was a good striker.
Yeah.
Didn't really offer the game. Was very quiet in the game, Tony. When I joined Everton, Tony was a senior player when I joined from school, and I
Yeah.
spent many trainer sessions with Tony. He was a great fella and a fantastic striker. I'm just thinking, do I put him ahead of Andy Gray or behind Kevin Campbell now? So, because I don't know who's going to come next, I'm going to stick him behind Kevin Campbell. So you've got him in
So
9. So he's in 9, isn't he?
no, he's in 10. That makes him
No,
in 10.
well, who's in 9?
Yeah, you've just said Kevin went. Hang on.
No, who's in 8?
No, Kevin was 8, wasn't he? Yeah. So
Yeah,
you're
so
going
he's
with
in
number
9.
9. Sorry, Tony
Yeah,
Cottee at 9. Okay. Okay, and
but
this is where it gets a bit tricky now because you've got 3 left. I think you've got number 1,
yeah,
number 5, and number
yeah.
10 places left.
Well, I've kept the number 1.
Okay.
I'm hoping you say the guy. If you don't say him, I'll tell you at the end who I was hoping you'd
Okay.
say.
So the next one is, hang on a minute, I've got 4 left. What have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Yeah. So the next one, hang on. Right. So the next one is Wayne Clark.
Yeah, Sniffer scored a couple of great goals, didn't he? So growing up in the 80s, he came in the team to support the team and support the other strikers. I'm going to put Clark as down, for me, as the 10th.
Yeah. Just taking in mind, bearing in mind who you've got before him. Is that
Yeah,
fair
that's
to say?
basically it. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
basically it. Yeah.
Okay. Next one is we're gonna have to have a little recap here because I'm not across this at all. So the next one is Franny Jeffers.
Oh, Fran. Bloody hell. So what have I got left?
Well, I've got you down with 3 more to go, including Franny. So
So what numbers have
Franny
I
and
got
2
left?
more.
What
So
numbers?
you've got number 1,
Yeah,
you've got number 5.
yeah,
Let me go through them again. So Bob Latchford was number 3.
yeah,
Yeah. Ron was number 4.
yeah.
Oh no, so Ron was number 2. Sorry,
2, yeah,
Ron was
yeah,
2. Graham Sharp was number 4, was he? Do you know
yeah,
what? I've
yeah,
messed this up, haven't I? I can't
yeah.
remember. Then you had Andy Gray, I think was 6. Oh,
7,
7.
7, yeah,
Then Tony Cottee. Sorry, then Kevin Campbell
yeah. Then
was
Tony Cottee and then
yeah,
Wade Clark.
and Wade Clark. Yeah. So
So
Franny
Franny will have to
Jeffers
go number 6 then.
6. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. So he's bang in the middle there somewhere.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. Go on. Let's carry
Okay.
that one on then.
Okay. Second to last one, Louis Sahar.
Yeah. So he's going to have to go 5. Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
I'm a bit stitched up here.
Yeah.
I've probably,
Well,
but
this
go
is
on.
this is the game,
Yeah.
because you don't know who's coming.
You haven't said me number 1. I've left me number 1 because he was my
Well,
favourite striker in growing up.
the next one could be your number 1. I don't know.
Who is it?
Mr. Gary Lineker.
He was my number 1. So I
Yeah.
was hoping you said. See, it's funny, innit? So the 80s team, we had Adrian Heath, Andy Gray, Graham Sharp. Then a little bit later on, you had your Wayne Clarks. Sharpie, I loved Sharpie growing up. Then I loved the midfielders. I never really took. When I say never took, I loved them all. But when you're asking me who your best strikers are, I'll say Sharpie. But when Lineker came, it was like a new ball game. Every time a team turns up, you'd expect Lineker to score 2 or 3 goals.
Yeah.
And I think he almost did, didn't he, in that year?
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Yeah, he
So,
did. I think it was about 32, was it? 30,
was he? Yeah, I
34
mean,
maybe? Mm.
yeah, and don't get me wrong, there's going to be like he only done it for a short period.
Yeah.
And I get all that. But actually, as a fan growing up, he was one of me Everton striker idols, if
Yeah,
if
of
you have a
course.
striker idol. Obviously, I never seen Bob play.
No.
If I'm going to change one over, which is say
So you can
you're
change
going to
one,
allow me
yeah.
to change one over, I'd probably
So you're not moving Gary Lineker from number 1, are you?
no. I'm happy with Rom, and I'm happy with Sharpie. I'm happy with my top 4. I think I'm happy with my top 4. I'm not too happy with
Okay.
my bottom 6, to be honest with you. Right?
So I mean, you're
So
probably you're not moving Wayne Clark, I suppose, are you?
no, the
Yeah.
only one I'm going to move out of being, I think I got Franny in 5 or 6,
Yeah.
and I think in the names you've mentioned, as much as I love Fran, I don't think Fran can sit with them names there, you see, because it was only a
Right.
short
Okay.
period, even though I thought Franny was
Yes.
a fantastic footballer.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to move Fran a bit further down.
And who are you bringing up?
So who's below him then?
Well, you've got Kevin Campbell.
Yeah,
You've got Tony Cottee.
yeah.
You've got Louis Sahar. And I think you've got Andy Gray. Yeah, Andy Gray.
Yeah, so do you know what? I'm going to move up. I think he scores quite a lot. I'm going to move up Tony Cottee.
Okay.
Swap places with Cottee.
So Tony Cottee goes into the top 6, doesn't he?
Yeah.
That's about right. I don't think you'll have too many
yeah.
arguments, Tony,
And you
to
know
be
what?
honest.
If you ask me on a different day, I'll probably have
say
about
so.
5 or 6 in different positions out.
Well, you'll be pleased to know I won't ask you on a different day about Everton strikers, but what we will do is talk about defenders, central defenders, goalkeepers. So it'll all be Everton. And then we'll do one on press officers down the years, and we'll rank them.
Yeah. Okay.
But you won't need to be blind ranked for that. But anyway, listen, Tony, it's great to see you. It was in the end, it was a good result, wasn't it, for Everton? 1-1, I think, in the end.
In the end, yeah.
But I think we both agree we should be doing better than that at home, and we need to start getting some points in the bag at home, I think.
Yeah, I agree, Al. I agree.
Okay. Well, listen, I hope you've enjoyed this, the first of the debriefs. We'll be back a little bit later on in the week to look forward to the Brighton game. And of course, Brighton, we won't say too much about it now, but Brighton, a couple of years ago under Sean Dyche, we had a 5-1 victory there. It was, it was a very, unexpected victory, wasn't it? And again, a tricky place to go and never quite really sort of work out, how, I mean, you and I were both at the home game, and they tore us apart for a long period of that game, but we end up winning 2-0. So it's funny how the game goes. But,
that's right.
But yeah, listen, please like and subscribe if you want to join the conversation, and we'll see you next time on the True Blue Everton podcast. Cheers, To.